steps up. Ricketts is at the high point. Jones. Aromaterio has a lane. Nicholas Aromaterio, the shot. Scores! Holy jumping! The Italian stallion puts the puck in the back of the net. Mamma mia, Nicholas Aromaterio! So to keep it in and does. Callum Jones for Potts. At the blue line, kept in by the skate of Thomas Maya. Maya. Down low on the half course, he swings out in the slot for Potts. Kyle Potts has it, hands on, now he shoots, scores! Holy jumping! How do you do? Kyle Potts puts the puck in the back of the net. Blades blocked that shot, and coming the other way is Alton McDermott. He's in on the breakaway, scores! Holy jumping! His grandfather, Paul Henderson, must be ecstatic about that one because Alton McDermott just scored his first career Buckland Cup final playoff goal. Has been pulled. The Dukes are in the Oakville zone. Zone salvage. Swung that around. The Blades are trying to tie this puck up. It goes into the corner. The Blades have a chance to get this out. Lions will tie it up. 10 seconds. Gilmore has it at the point. It's in. Tips. Just wide. 7 seconds. It's back in the corner. Ewing's back in. 3, 2, 1. The Oakville Blades. Holy jumping. Blades win. Blades win. Blades win. The Oakville Blades are Buckland Cup champions.
You're watching and listening to Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk with Nicholas Fiore. Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 55 of Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk. I'm Nicholas Fiore, the host of the show and play-by-play broadcaster for the Oakville Blades in the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And joining me on this edition of the show, the very first female on Mamma Mia, This is Fire Talk in the episode version, Emma Woods. Emma, thank you for joining. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Nick. I appreciate it. Didn't know I was the first female, so it's pretty neat.
Yeah, so the first female on the episode. We had a few college soccer or League One Ontario semi-pro girls on the Instagram Live side, but appreciate you coming on, Emma, for the Toronto Six in the Premier Hockey Federation, formerly known as the NWHL, wearing number 67. You can see a celebration of a goal behind me for sure. But Emma, you know, for the Toronto Six, for this team, you're on the tail end of the season. You guys have a pretty solid record up in first place right now with 44 points. How is this season going? And you know, the playoffs are looming. High expectations, aren't there?
Yeah, you know, we obviously had this expectation for ourselves at the beginning of the year. You know, we have one goal in mind, that's to bring home the cup. So obviously we put ourselves in a good position to do that so far. It's been, you know, an interesting season in regards to COVID and all the different adversity that, you know, everyone in the league has had to face. But we have a pretty special group, and I think we've built a really great culture in Toronto. So, you know, that's a big part of why we do have the record we have. I think it's the group, it's the coaches, it's the management. It's, you know, everyone's all in every single day we're at the rink. So
yeah, you know what?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And you know what? That's good to see and good to hear, because it's still a newer franchise, right? It's still a newer team. You came in from the beginning, from the expansion season, right? So it's good to see, isn't it, that this team, you know, in the likes of playing against like the Buffalo Beauts, let's say, they've been in the league for a while, right? But you guys come in and really this season you're taking a step forward, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously last year was a little, you know, unconventional. It was more just tournament style. So take that with a grain of salt, but you know, we are excited to have a semi-normal structured season. You know, we try to build off of each other each game. We know we're going to get everyone's best game. For one, you know, we're a top seed, and I think being a new team in the league, you know, everyone kind of has your number. And we knew that coming in. So I think we do truly get everyone's best game, and I think it makes us a better team. These last 2 weekends have been, every single game has been a grind. We came out 4-0 in the last 4 games, but it's 1-goal games, right? And came down to the wire these last 2 in overtime. So, you know, that's preparing us for the playoffs. And I know this upcoming week against Connecticut is going to be just as tough, if not even harder. So looking forward to it.
Exactly. You're from Ontario, right? You're from Burford, Ontario, but you went to NCAA D1 in the States, of course, and then your pro path led you from, for what I know, is pretty weird in playing in China, but then in the CWHL. So I needed to jump on that right away. I needed to ask that because I know my hockey, but playing in China and in the, what is the Canadian Women's Hockey League, when it was called, when you were in it then, how the heck did that happen? Or how was that all about?
Yeah, they started that team with a mission to develop their national team for the Beijing Olympics. They get a buy into the Olympics. They just did have one. So they wanted to really develop those players. So what they kind of did was started 2 teams in the Canadian Women's League because there was no league in China. So they decided and had the resources to do that. And just through my connections, actually Shy Darkangelo, she signed with the program first and got me kind of connected with Digit. And anyway, it worked out where I kind of jumped on board with that. And yeah, I was there for 2 years. It was a crazy experience, but it was awesome. And the hockey was great. Obviously, that league it was good at that time. And so it was great hockey, a lot of travel, and I got to play hockey in China. I didn't even know if I'd ever go to China in my lifetime, and I got to play pro hockey there for 2 years. So
I was going to say that must be that overall though, like it's an interesting experience. I mean, we saw the Olympics, the past Winter Olympics, of course, obviously the Canadian women's winning the gold medal, beating the Americans, but playing hockey in China, that probably wasn't even said to you when you were growing up, eh?
No, never.
The experience in itself was crazy though, no?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Obviously the culture and the players and everyone I got to meet. And we were also in South China, so it was like tropical weather all year round. It was like hot, like in January. So
Florida in China.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. You were obviously though drafted in 2016 in the NWHL by the Buffalo Beauts. But here the route led you a little bit elsewhere. After China, you went to Sweden in the 1920 campaign. How was that experience now, in a European country?
Yeah, when the CWHL folded, I wasn't exactly sure what my next step was going to be. And then I got this opportunity to go play in Sweden, and I, thought, why not? I was at a good place, as a player and in my life to do something like that. And that was completely different, obviously, than China and what it's like playing at home here in Toronto. But I loved it. Sweden's such a big hockey country. They have an incredible women's league there, all across the country. They have teams. And it was all about hockey. So, I loved it. The people I met, the teammates, my coaches, it was great. I honestly considered going back for a second year. And then obviously they started the franchise here in Toronto and brought me back home. So that made the decision pretty easy for me. But yeah, it was a great experience. I know a lot of good players that go over and play over there too, and have stayed there for many years. So,
well, I mean, you didn't do too bad. 35 games, 29 points in Sweden. So, you had the numbers, right? You had 19 points in the first year in China and 16 in the following year. And then obviously coming to Toronto 6, you have, if I'm not mistaken, 17 points so far this season, 8 and 9, 8 goals, 9 assists. Did you feel like it, even though, 95, we are the same age, but did you feel like that you, it was time to come home after a little bit of a route, through Asia, then through Europe, and then, okay, Toronto, I'm from Ontario, it only makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, I went and played college hockey in the States too, so I hadn't really played at home, and it was like 8 years or something. Yeah. So especially with last year, we're not actually getting to play at home. But yeah, like, when you're away for that long, obviously you keep doing that and it's fun. And I love all those experiences, but it's a different feeling getting to play at home. And like, I think Sunday's game, I had like 25 friends and family there. Like, that's something so special and something you don't get when you go play overseas. Obviously you have the odd family member and friend come over, but it's special playing at home. And that's why this organization, I've been here since obviously the start last year, but it means a lot to me and I feel like I'm really a part of it. So
I don't know if I'm saying the university's name right, but Quinnipiac,
Quinnipiac, yeah.
Quinnipiac University. Yeah. You were an assistant captain, then you were a captain as well. 2013 to 2017, 106 points, and 149 games played. You know, I always like asking people their college or university or post-secondary journey and careers, because everyone almost has a different story. How was yours? Obviously, moving away from home, of course, in the States, your overall experience in uni.
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, yeah, I came from a small town, and before I started getting recruited, I knew nothing about Division I college hockey. So I kind of just got thrown into it, the recruiting process, and it was awesome. You know, they have a great culture at Quinnipiac. There were 7 girls in my class, and to this day, the 7 of us still talk all the time, and we're like best friends. So, you know, with that, all the friendships, you know, the coaches, obviously it's a lot when you're a student athlete, juggling school and practice and games and travel and everything. But, you know, we got all the resources, and I think they really set us up for success there. You know, I think I grew as a hockey player and definitely as a person as well. And it really made me love the game even more when I left. So
It's always important also when you're in a leadership role, right? Assistant captain, now you're an assistant with the Toronto Six. How, I guess maybe how much of an honor do you have, or what are the major leadership skills that keep on getting you the letters on the chest, and how big of a role is that for you?
yeah, I definitely take a lot of pride in that. I don't just accept that lightly. When I get chosen to be a leader on the team, I'm definitely a vocal person, like on the ice and off the ice. That's probably one of the reasons, you know, I get noticed for something like that from my teammates. You know, chirps and, you know, just I feel like I like to be, you know, approachable for all the players and for the staff as well. And then obviously on the ice, it kind of lights a little fire under my ass too. You know, obviously when you have a letter, you got to play the right way and play for the girls next to you. So I try to do that every game.
You know, in with my sister plays, you know, League One Ontario semi-pro as a goalie in soccer, right? And you can see that, you know, growing up, there's not many avenues, there's not many routes, right, for you know, girls in sports in general. And you know, almost the same for you, if I'm not mistaken, that you have to play with boys until the bantam level, with the Burford Coyotes, and you know, for me, I would think you were probably owning half of those boys on the ice, but that's obviously an outsider's opinion that I just wanted to state, because normally or sometimes that happens, right? Because there's so much skill that a girl or a female can have, but it's not recognized, or there's not enough leagues in order to be placed in. If you remember how much you remember when you were younger, you know, playing with the boys, was it always nice if you scored a goal, you showed a little boy up and saying, yeah, you know, I'm good too, guys?
It's kind of funny. I didn't even really see it that way. I think,
Okay,
you know, I didn't have the option to play with the girls. And all those guys were just like my buddies. They were all my friends from school or, you know, from in town. So for me, yeah, obviously you wanted to, you know, show off a little bit as the only girl, but, you know, I just felt like another one of the boys really when I was on that team. And then, yeah, obviously I made the jump in bantam. I think size was a factor, and also it was just the right time, I think, to start making that connection and make the switch. So,
as mentioned, you were with the Toronto Six since the expansion, June 2020, and you also got some history under your belt with it, assisting on the first goal in franchise history. I'm sure the celebration from everyone was great, but how cool is it? No matter what, no matter where you go, no matter where this team goes or the league goes, you know, you're kind of in a record book with the Toronto Six.
yeah, I think obviously it's special to be a part of a moment like that and have Lindsay Eastwood, you know, one of the most loved defenders on our team, players, people on our team, honestly, to bury that goal. But, you know, I think for all of us, we've kind of just been a part of it from the start. You know, obviously it's, yeah, like I said, especially a part of a moment like that, but it's really just special to be a part of this team at this time. You know, obviously I see this league doing really well and this organization having success for years to come. And hopefully, honestly, forever, and girls can dream of playing for the Toronto Six and all those things that we play for every single day. So yeah, it is special to be a part of the beginning of it all.
Absolutely. I was going to mention a little earlier, but for when you were back in, you know, in university, how much did that team or that school in general set you up to go into the professional ranks?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Just the middle of that just cut off.
How did when you were in university, right? You always get experience on and off the ice, but how did university and hockey, I guess, in general, really set you up, or did it mature you in order to become a professional hockey player now?
Absolutely. Yeah. You learn so much about the game. Obviously, it depends on your coaches, but, we, for one, had a ton of structure in the way we played. And I learned a lot about, the way the game can be played in different perspectives. And a lot of the smaller details, it's not just all about how skilled you can be, but it comes down to a lot of different things on the ice. And I think that really did prepare me, as a leader too on the ice, playing the right ways, not cheating on pucks, not all these small little details that we focus so heavily on at Quinnipiac. It really does take you far as a professional athlete, professional hockey player. I think coaches notice when one of the girls have come from Quinnipiac. I think a lot of creds goes to our coaches there, Cass Turner and the rest of them. They really did a good job preparing us, not just to be great hockey players, but to be great just athletes and leaders and people. And all those things kind of come into account when you become a pro player.
So how many family members got Quinnipiac's name wrong when you said you were going to that school?
First time, probably all of them.
Because there's
they've
no
all
way.
They've all got it now, though. Even like grandma and grandpa, they've got it now.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I want to touch upon the avenue part of it, and obviously women. They say women in sports, but I mean sports is for everyone, right? I'm not just saying that because you're on there. I have cousins and my sister and all that. They're in high levels of their sports. I believe the announcement came a couple of weeks ago. I think women's hockey and the PHF are getting more money and to give. I don't know. I don't know the whole gist of it because I like to stay away from the politics side of things, no matter where I am. But it's good to see that it's getting you're getting recognized and there is movements in the right direction. How good is that to see from a player and yourself? And as much as you can touch upon, of course, how much more you think can be done, of course, in due time.
Yeah, I think it's a year-to-year basis right now with where we're at. But I see this continuing to grow. Absolutely. I see it being a sustainable pro league. What we've been able to do and our league management and Commissioner Ty Tamiya and owners have been able to do these last 2 years is incredible in my eyes. We've doubled the salary cap this year, and next year they're more than doubling it. They're adding, health benefits, all these things. And it's so huge. Yeah. Not only is it the recognition, but it's, giving the players, for one, what they deserve. And with more money, I think it comes more of a commitment. And I think you'll just see better athletes. Obviously, if I had the option and if we all got paid the way, the guys get paid, we'd be training way more. We wouldn't maybe have these other jobs that take up a lot of our days. So I think every step gets us closer to where, we want to be. And I think we've taken huge strides. I personally am so excited for next year and the future of this league for years to come. And obviously, at the end of the day, we're doing this so that, the young girls, they have a league to dream of, something that as kids, we didn't. It was, you want to play on the Olympic team or you want to play in the NHL. You didn't have a women's pro league to look up to. And, in Toronto, I know all the other teams have it the same, but we have such a great group of young girls in our community that look up to us, and it's super present around the rink and everything like that. So it's special. And, I'm grateful to be able to play here.
Absolutely. Everyone, if you're just tuning in now, I'm in episode 55 with Emma Woods, number 67 for the Toronto Six in the Premier Hockey Federation. This episode is sponsored by The Bottom Line, downtown Toronto restaurant and bar, 22 Front Street, the official restaurant of the Hockey Hall of Fame as well. Emma, as we continue moving on here, there's also a different change in the organization with the ownership change. Like I said, I stay far away from politics, but it looks like, what I've seen on social media and the articles that I read, former NHLer, one of them anyways, Anthony Stewart is coming on as in the ownership group. He's with Sportsnet also now, and a few other very big, important people. But I'd like you to, as much as you can, touch upon those people and how big that is for the league, the country, and your team in general.
Yeah, it's huge. I think to get the support from people, like that, with that credibility and status, obviously, yeah, you take that and that means a lot, but then for them to be investing in us as players, I think, it's definitely motivation for us. And I think it looks good, it gives us more recognition too. And hopefully, it draws in more players into this league. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want all the best talent on the ice. And I think those, they're obviously hockey minds too, which is important in this sport. But I'm excited. I've met a couple of them, but I'm excited to meet the rest of them and, thank them honestly. But it doesn't change the day-to-day stuff, but obviously it's a big step for us, and I think we're going to be in good hands.
There's only 6 teams right now within the league, and for a sustainable professional league, probably other people are saying, well, you need more teams and you need more you need more support, I guess, from the league, maybe to then get these communities involved. How important, in your personal opinion, do you think it is to get more cities or maybe another team in Canada, because Toronto is the only team now in the nation, right, to get that support and expand this to, I don't know, let's just say 10 to 12 to hopefully 16? Is that truly a long-term plan, or can it be done within at least a season or two to get at least more teams in?
Yeah, well, they're actually adding 2 teams next season. And one's going to be in Montreal, which obviously is a huge hockey city here in Canada. So, that's going to be huge. So obviously next year, that means there'll be 8 teams. They'll probably honestly see how that goes, the support we're able to get with that. And obviously, you need more players too, right? So obviously, as we continue to grow and get more players, they're going to be able to add more teams. I obviously can't really answer the question specifically. I really don't know, but I'm excited to have 2 more teams added. Obviously it lengthens our season a bit, which we all would love. Obviously right now we have a short season. It's, you can't really go through the highs and the lows. You kind of just got to go in. Every single game is like a playoff game, which is awesome. That's what we want it to be. But I'm excited to have a couple more teams added, and obviously with that, added more games to the schedule as well.
Also, of course. But the COVID, how is the COVID? I guess we're still in COVID. It's on the tail end of it, hopefully. But is there still a lot of COVID restrictions within the league? And how different, I guess, dating to last season, was it to play during the pandemic?
Yeah, obviously there's barriers, but I think everyone's done a good job of following all the rules strictly. We obviously all have med staff and trainers and all these people who keep us on all that stuff. Testing every single week, certain protocols if there are positive tests throughout the league. With travel, obviously just having everything prepared. I think preparation is the biggest thing with that when we're traveling. Obviously we have to go over the border for all of our games, but we've done a good job in not letting it affect us, really wreck our flow of things. We handle it when it needs to be handled, and we do the testing, we do all the right things. So
if I'm not mistaken, yeah, absolutely. And that's, it's always important to be safe, right? Because you just don't know. You don't want to get into the playoffs and then all of a sudden, something bad happens, right? I don't want to say it. I don't want to have a broadcast, but you know what I mean? So it always is best. And it's crazy to me to see all these people breaking COVID protocol here, COVID protocol. Guys, he or she is a pro, you just stay intact. If I'm not mistaken, you guys had an outdoor game not so long ago, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
How was that? Because we saw the Leafs, unfortunately lose to Buffalo, but that's another story. And obviously the OHL now, Hamilton and Oshawa, the Bulldogs and the Generals have an outdoor game too. You guys went to Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken, and played the Buttes in Buffalo in an outdoor game. Doesn't it just feel a totally different vibe? And I'm playing outdoors, like, you hear it all the time. This is where we started. Outdoors is the real hockey, and so on and so forth. But how was that? Because that must have been cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, they had a really cool facility there. Obviously, we didn't get the result of that game that we wanted, but overall, it was a cool experience. I have actually never played in like a structured official outdoor game, so I think a lot of the girls had the same thing. So that was fun for us. Obviously, it doesn't change the way you play, but the atmosphere and everything is different. But it was a ton of fun. It was a beautiful day. I mean, we couldn't really ask. The ice was good. Obviously that's always something. It's going to be too warm or whatever, but it was good. It was a lot of fun. I hope that, next year we do something like that again, hopefully at home, maybe.
Hey, that would be cool. That'd be cool coming
Yeah.
having a game here in Toronto wherever it could be or maybe. As we mentioned, the last weekend of games are coming up against Connecticut. And the playoffs are looming. How pumped is the dressing room? How pumped are the girls to hopefully bring this championship home in really the second season of Toronto Six history?
Yeah, we're pretty fired up. We have a really close group of girls. I think we're all pretty much best friends in our locker room. So obviously that adds something to it. But we've gone through a lot of adversity this year, and I don't think we've really skipped a beat. We've had a couple losses, and I think that's made us stronger as a group. But we're going to treat this weekend like a playoff game against Connecticut. Obviously, we're chasing or racing them for first place. I think we have 1 point on them right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a couple tight games, and then you kind of got to leave it all out there. There's hopefully 4 games left for us, and hopefully we bring back a cup. It's time. Obviously, we've been here for 2 years, but we wanted that cup last year. We didn't get it, so we're coming back, and we're excited and we're ready.
Absolutely. And the playoffs in the PHF now, break it down for everyone how it works if you don't mind, because it's not a conventional playoff that we see like within the NHL or so on and so forth, isn't it?
Yeah, no, with the 6 teams, so the bottom 4 teams will play in a quarterfinal game. And then top 2 teams get a bye into the semis, which will be played on the Sunday in Florida. And then the finals will be on the Monday.
But it's single knockout, right?
Yeah, single knockout. Obviously, moving forward, I personally kind of hope they start doing like a series, but I totally understand, why they have to do it this way. And, at least it's in Florida. I'm pumped for that. So.
Yeah, I guess the only thing they could possibly do is a best of 3, but even that with 6 teams, it's, that I agree with them kind of. That's
the thing, right? We're still growing. And I think, all these decisions, they're made for a reason. And we trust the process, and we trust, the whys. So make the best always.
And you say the growing, and that's a perfect segue, because that's what I want to touch upon, for the most part. Lastly, the growth of women's hockey. We see the Canadian women's national team, winning Olympic gold. I mean, they always seem to be in that final anyways, but getting the gold back, which is big. You played in the same league as Jamie Lee Rattray in the CWHL, and I saw one season she was 3rd in scoring, and you weren't too far under. Is it awesome to see that, the Canadian women, they lost 4 years ago in a devastating fashion in a shootout, but they come back and they come back firing. But then the Olympic women's soccer team winning gold in the summer. How important is it for these championships now for people to try to invest the money into women's hockey, women's soccer, and the growth of women's sports in Canada?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, when people see you winning, they're going to be more attracted to something like that. But you put those athletes out on the platform, and they they really bring a lot of recognition to our sports when they have success like that. Obviously, we're always going to be rooting for them. Obviously, I hope sometime soon that I'm going to be playing against all those girls again in a league, and I think we'll get there. But it's good to see them win. It's good for the sport. It's good for the sport of soccer when they're winning. It's good for hockey. The young girls watching that, the investors, the people watching on all that stuff. It's good.
What do you think, finally, in your personal opinion, that, I don't know, just in the general aspect, not even within your league, that women's hockey needs? Other than, of course, I guess the simple answer, which is money, or people investing in it more. But is there anything else that, these females need in any women's hockey league, I guess, in North America to really propel you into some sort of, I guess, better or positive direction?
I think we're on the right track. I think right now, I don't think I personally would even ask for much more than what we've been given. I'm super grateful for all the people who are investing in us right now. And next year, it's even more of an investment. A lot of the girls are gonna be able to make a livable wage. If you choose to have something on the side, that's great. And I think obviously most of us are used to that and probably will, but there's gonna be more resources. With more money comes more resources, more time commitment, and all these things. And I think it's every single season we're going to just keep on that path. moving into next season, I don't know if I could ask for much more. I think they put us in a good place next year to have, success as organization and as athletes. Obviously, there's standards for every player. That's obviously me speaking. I can't speak for everyone, but I think we're on the right path. Absolutely.
Well, and not just that, you get the gear too. I mean, a lot of gear is pretty sweet, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to what you need, right?
Yeah.
Listen, Emma, I really do appreciate you jumping on. We if people don't know, we've been talking for a little bit to try to get this going. Obviously, clear it with the lovely PR people at the Toronto Six. Sometimes I got to go through that way. Sometimes I don't. But hey, I respect everyone's job in general. So listen, Emma, I appreciate you coming on. It means a lot. I'm happy to have you as the first female on an episode of the show, and I want to continue to have more and more and more, and that's my plan, and branch out as well. So if you can get me anyone, then just let's hook it up. Let's hook it up. I don't want to hound you too much, but if you can't get me anyone, let's hook it up, because it's good to have a platform where I can have people that meet the criteria of the show, and me even learning from, like I said, we're the same age, but me learning from you on where you've been or how you got to where you got to, and learn different aspects of the females and what they go through in their professional career. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Nick. I'm sure we'll be in touch lots.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. I got no shame. I'll message and say, hey, can you get me this? Can you get me that? If you say you're too much, okay, that's it. I'll stop. I'll pull back. No, but thank you though. I really appreciate it. I know the tail end of the season's coming, but best of luck the rest of the way, and hopefully you girls bring home the cup.
I hope so. That's the plan. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Everyone, number 67 for the Toronto Six, Emma Woods, on episode number 55. I can't believe it. Of Mamma Mia, This is Fire Talk. Visit www.mamamia, This is Fire Talk for all your needs of the show, and t-shirts, hats, long sleeves, and hoodies as well. Follow the Toronto Six as they're in their last weekend of games and in a playoff push, hopefully going all the way in the Premier Hockey Federation this season. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your support. This episode was sponsored by The Bottom Line, 22 Front Street, downtown Toronto. # Toronto's classiest sports bar. Stay safe out there, and Mamma Mia.
Now Davis takes it and looks to come the other way. Davis is in, trying to drive, and he will look to go across. Good play to Davis, though, to get it right back to him. He goes down low to Israels. Centering, it's there. Scores! Stevie! Steven Whittle scores his first NWHL playoff goal for the Oakville Blades. This game is opening up in a big way for both teams. Ricketts centering, what a pass, Israel's breakaway, the move, scores! What a goal for the Alaska Fairbanks commit, the assistant captain, Harrison Israels, with an absolute dandy. Down low to Lyons, Jack Lyons centering, scores! The double jacks combine as that puck popped up like a jack in a box, and it's Jack Ricketts from Jack Lyons. 6-1 on the 40th shot of the game. It's all Oakville.
Colette Smith hits it in. A chance here can develop, but the Blades will look to take it. And Ricketts finds Israels. Breakaway, Israels. A chance, backhand. Rebound. Scores! And the Oakville Blades win it here in Toronto. Blades win, Blades win, Blades win.
That was Mamma Mia, This is Fire Talk with Nicholas Fiore. Thank you for watching and listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.